When you own vacant property where no one is, where you are not going by on a daily basis, keeping eyes on it, there's a lot of bad things that can happen. It really helps to be well equipped and well informed on your insurance program. We're going to dive right into that right after this. Hey folks, I am James Jenkins, Chief Risk Officer of RiskWell. This video is part of the Real Estate Investor Insurance Academy series. There are, at this point, about 17 videos in a playlist on YouTube and on our website. In this video, we're going to be talking about vacant property insurance fundamentals. We're going to jump right into our screen share. Look forward to your comments, your feedback. If there's anything else you'd like to talk about after watching this video, we'd love to hear from you. So let's jump right into that screen share. All right, so Real Estate Investor Insurance Academy, vacant property insurance fundamentals. As we have in other videos, we're going to jump right into the sources of risk on a vacant property. First is going to be the vacancy clause. The 60 days rule is typically how most insurance companies handle the vacancy clause. So if you are not in the property for 60 days, a bunch of bad things happen. Several coverages get removed from the policy, and a lot of things get stripped out. Your risk goes up, but the cost doesn't go down. So you need to be very mindful of the vacancy clause in your insurance program. Secondly, there is a big difference between being vacant and being unoccupied. Unoccupied simply means that there is not an occupant in the property. There can be any number of other people in the property: contractors, inspectors, property managers, you visiting the property. It is a big difference from vacant, which means that no one is in the property. So that will come back later in the conversation. Second is going to be premises liability. This is for third-party accidents or injuries or property damage that occurs anywhere on your property. Next is going to be property damage or loss to your asset. This is to the building itself. On a vacant property policy, typically there is no loss of income because there's not a tenant in the property. A big concern for vacant property is going to be theft, vandalism, malicious mischief. A lot of times on an insurance policy, you'll see the acronym VMM. That's vandalism and malicious mischief. A lot of carriers and companies don't want to cover this in the way that you and I would expect them to. So make sure your vacant property policy covers theft, vandalism, and malicious mischief. So what are some essential coverages you need to make sure are present in your vacant property policy? You're going to want to make sure you have a policy that adequately addresses vacancy clause limitations and that you thoroughly understand those limitations when you are structuring your insurance program. A good agent or broker will make sure that you're aware of the important things and will make a point of the differences between unoccupied and vacant. Next is going to be theft and vandalism and mischief coverage by endorsement if the base policy doesn't cover. There's a lot of insurance carriers out there that have a stripped down garbage policy for vacant property that doesn't have any of the options that you and I would want it to. Covered causes of loss, theft, vandalism, etc. Vacancy clause we've already talked about. So make sure theft and vandalism is covered to your satisfaction. And also you're going to want to make sure that you have premises liability coverage to protect you against financial liability for third-party accidents or injuries or property damage. Here are some common errors to be aware of. If you see any of these errors, you probably should fire your insurance agent or broker and come over to RiskWell, because these are silly mistakes that should not be done. It's going to be, first one, writing a policy with a carrier that does not have sufficient options. A lot of times carriers will simply have stripped down offerings for vacant property. That is not what anyone would want to have under ideal circumstances. Second is going to be neglecting to include special form cause of loss coverage if available. The causes of loss coverage options are going to be discussed elsewhere in the Investor Insurance Academy. They are typically basic, broad, and special are your three options. Sometimes special is available, sometimes it's not. So make sure you ask if special form cause of loss is available. Next is not understanding the difference between vacant and unoccupied. If your agent has never brought up the difference between vacant and unoccupied, that's not a good sign. And that's really all we have here. It's not that complicated. Vacant property is easy to insure if you know what you're looking for. Do you have questions? Is there anything we can help you with on vacant property insurance? Please request your no-cost consultation with my team. Our phone number, 469-678-8001. Email at info@riskwell.com. And that is all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you see value in what we are doing here completely free of charge, please consider subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and ring that bell for notifications. That's all for now, boys and girls. And please remember, life is risky. Risk well.